Are you looking for the best contact forms tutorial to add contact forms to your WordPress website or Elementor website that's simple to install, easy to use, in less than 15 minutes of your time at no cost to you? Are you trying to decide whether WPForms or Contact Form 7 are the best form solution for your website? Or maybe you're just getting started, you have no idea how to add forms to your website at all. If you're facing any of these problems and simply need a totally free step-by-step solution for adding forms to your website, then you've come to the right place. Hello, I'm Yoda, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Now, during this course, if you run into any troubles, just leave a comment below the video and I'll be more than happy to assist you. And don't be shy about asking for help. I've been a webmaster instructor, aka the Web Yoda, for over 20 years, and I love to hear from my students. But if you could, please pay it forward. If you could like the video, subscribe to the video, share the video, tell your friends about the video. Those are the kind of things that help get the word out there so other students like you can find this video. So let's go ahead and get started. I have a lot to cover, and I know your time is valuable. The first thing we need to decide is which forms plugin we want to use. Now, it's undisputed that WPForms and Contact Form 7 are the best plugins by far out there. If you do the research yourself, you'll find that WPForms and Contact Form 7 are collectively 10 times more popular than all the other plugins combined. In fact, anyone promoting a Forms plugin other than these two is simply making more affiliate money from that company. Both WPForms and Contact Form 7 have lots of great free features and lots of great paid features. I found both to be compatible with all WordPress versions and also very reliable and compatible with all the major themes and plugins that I've personally used. So then the question is, between WPForms and Contact Form 7, which of these solutions is the best solution for me? Originally, I used Contact Form 7 exclusively, but that was because it was the only game in town. So because of this, like many other WordPress developers, I used Contact Form 7 exclusively for many years. It worked great, it was easy, I had no reason to change. But now I use WPForms exclusively, and the question is, why would I make that change? And the answer to this is on December 11, 2018, Contact Form 7 released version 5.1. As it turns out, version 5.1 was no longer compatible with Google CAPTCHA. Now, if you're not familiar with Google CAPTCHA is that thing you do just before you send a form to make sure you're not a robot. And for me, Google CAPTCHA was extremely important to minimize the amount of emails I receive from automated methods of submitting forms. But surely Contact Form 7 would solve this problem quickly and release a new version so I didn't have to make a change. However, for months, WordPress developers like myself attempted to convince the developer for Contact Form 7 to fix the plugin, but for whatever reason, they resisted. At this point, I determined I had two options. I could either continue to use Contact Form 7, but stick with version 5.0.5, or I would need to research and choose another solution. Reluctantly, I decided I'd look for a new solution, and I'm really glad I did. First of all, WPForms was completely compatible with Google CAPTCHA, and it turned out to be a lot easier to set up than Contact Form 7. Secondly, WPForms is a drag-and-drop solution, whereas Contact Form 7 required hard coding, and this could be complicated, particularly for new users. So we're going to use WPForms. Let's go ahead and add WPForms to a couple of websites just to see how it works and what our options are. The first one we're going to do is webdesigntrainingschool.com. So there it is. If I click on the contact page, and we scroll down to the bottom, we'll see that this contact form, the CAPTCHA feature, is broken. That's what we're going to fix. So I want to log into my WordPress admin. Click to log in. And let's go ahead and add an extra tab so we can follow along as we make changes. So I'll go here. I'm going to right click and open a new tab. And so here's our website. Go ahead and click on contact to get us over there. And now we're ready to add WPForms. To access the WPForms plugin, I'm going to open up a new window. And I'm going to go to webyoda.com/WPForms. And here you'll find a brief description of WPForms, as well as access to the free version, the paid version, and the ability to set colors within WPForms. So we'll go ahead and click on the free version. And that downloads a copy to our computer. So now it's available. I'll go ahead and close that. I'll come back to our WordPress admin. I'm going to go to Plugins, Add New Plugin, Upload a Plugin, Choose File. I'm going to go to my Downloads folder, and there it is. Select it, Open, Install Now, and Activate Plugin. It's really remarkable how easy it is to use this product. Now, once it's installed and activated, you'll see an option for WPForms. We're going to click on WPForms, and we're going to add a new form. These are the simple forms that are available at no cost to us, and we just want a simple contact form. So I choose that. And now my simple contact form comes up. So let's say I wanted to add a subject line for my contact form and I want to put it between email and comment. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to drag single line text right in there just like that. So now I added a single line text field, and now I want to customize that. So over here, we're looking at add fields right here. We want to go into field options. Now we're in field options. I'll click on single line text, and now I can change this, and we'll just call it subject. Hit enter. Now we have a subject. Now let's say you also wanted to add the phone number field. Come back over to add fields, and oh no, to add a phone number, if we click on that, we have to upgrade. We're not going to do that. There's another way around that. So even though we'll research some of the great pro features later, for the purposes of what we're doing now, we want to do everything you can do for free. So let's go ahead and close that. I'm going to scroll back up, and I want to add a phone field between these two. So why don't I just take single line text, put it between the two, come back to field options, choose that one, and choose phone. Well, now we have a phone field. Well, what's the difference? The difference is our phone field is just a text field, whereas the paid version does validation to see that somebody actually entered a real phone number. Another thing you'll want to be able to do in your form is to make a field required. So with the phone field chosen, over here, if I click this little box here, it makes it required, and it also puts a little asterisk next to it so that people know that that's going to be a required field. Now the next step is we need to tell the form where to send the email. So in our case, we're going to go to settings, and then I'm going to choose notifications. And the send to email address is who do you want it to go to. Now by default, whatever the email you have set up as the admin email in your WordPress is where it's going to go. But you can personalize this. So I'm going to send mine to thewebyoda@gmail.com. Now for testing out your form, I recommend using a Gmail account. I only say that because I found Gmail accounts to be the most reliable method for testing your forms. So we've set where we want it to go to. We're going to click on save. And now we're going to click this X, and that takes us out of the WPForms edit menu. And now we want to add our form to a web page. Now for a regular standard WordPress form, we need this shortcode. So if I select that shortcode, I right click and copy. Now I can go to my pages. I can go to my contact form, choose that to start editing it. I can go down to the section that has my contact form in it. I'll edit that field. And notice it has the contact form 7 one in here right now. I'm going to paste the new one in there, and I'll get rid of the old one. Click done. Click update. And now we're ready to look at our new form. So we'll go over here. And notice at the bottom, the captcha is broken. We'll hit reload. And we have a new form, but it doesn't have any captcha information in there. So what we want to do is go ahead and add the captcha to this form. So we're going to go back to our WordPress admin, go back to WPForms, and then under WPForms, there's an option called Settings. We're going to click on reCAPTCHA, and then you have 3 choices. I always use the first choice. And then you need a site key and a secret key. Now you probably don't have those. But to do that, you're going to click on this Read Our Walkthrough. And WPForms has a very easy to follow method for setting up your CAPTCHA and showing you how to get your 2 keys that you need. So there's really no reason for me to reproduce that whole section. You'll just use theirs to get your keys. Once you have your keys, you'll come back over and you'll put your keys in here. Now I'm going to put my keys in. Now these aren't my real keys, they're just for an example. I mean, clearly my keys don't start with 8675309, and obviously my name's not Jenny. So now that we have those in there, scroll to the bottom and choose Save Settings. Now that those settings are saved, we can go back to our WPForms. So if I just click on WPForms here, it takes me back to my list of forms, and there's our one form. We'll choose that form, and now when we click on reCAPTCHA, it has been enabled, We click OK. Be sure to click Save. Come back over to our form, hit Reload, and look at there. It was that easy. So one other thing you may want to do is to change the button to say something other than Submit. So let's go back to our form, and we'll go into Field Options. We'll scroll down, choose Submit, and where it says Submit Button Text, we can put, let's say, Send Message. We hit Save. We come back over, hit Reload, and there you have a Send Message button. So now let's send a test message. So we'll send it from Bethany. Put a subject in. Testing 1, 2, 3. I'm not a robot. I'll click Send Message. Thanks for contacting us. We'll be in touch shortly. So that worked. Now this message right here, if you come back over to your forms and you go to Confirmations, you can set it to a different message there. So that's fun to do as well. Now let's go check our email. So I opened up a new tab to view my mail. You should get a new message that shows up. Here it is, simple contact form entry. And there's the email. But maybe we don't want it to say simple contact form. So we'll go back over to our form. We'll go back into notifications. And where it says email subject, we can put what we want in there. And I'll put Web Design Training School comments. I'll hit Save. Come over here. Let's reload on this. We'll send another message from Bethany. 4, 5, 6. I'm still not a robot. Send message. The new message is sent. Go check my email again. Go to All Mail. There's the new message. We'll click on that. And now it says Web Design Training School comments. So we have a simple form. It's free. And CAPTCHA works. Everything we need. So there was one last formatting thing I wanted to do to this form before we move forward. And we'll go ahead and do that inside of WPForms, and then we'll refresh our page and see how much of a difference it makes. So we'll go ahead and close that. We'll come back over here. So this is where we left off editing our form. And what I want to do is I want to go back to Fields. If you scroll down, notice how this field's wider than the other ones. And then when you look at the page, so let's say we come back over here and we click on Contact. You see how these are short right here. I want to fix that. So we'll come back into the editor. And we'll select each one of these. So I'll select Name. And then under Advanced, we'll set the size to large. Do Email, Advanced, size to large. Phone, Advanced, size to large. Subject, Advanced, size to large. Now we can hit Save. Come back to here. Hit Reload. And look how much better that looks. Now I probably won't do that on each one of the ones, the samples we're doing. As long as you know how to do it here, that should be plenty. So now we're ready to move on to our next form. And what we're going to do is add WPForms to an Elementor website. And the website we're going to work on is Bethany Zoo website that we're still working on. So let's go ahead and click here. And I'm going to type in sample.selftastic.com. And there's where that image came from that we used on the thumbnail for this video. And from here, we'll click on Contact. And we scroll down. And this is where she wants to add a contact form. We'll come back to our admin. I've already installed the free version of Contact Form 7 since we already know how to do that. And you'll notice there's already a WPForms option here. So I'll click on that. We currently have no forms. Let's add a new form. And here's our free choices. So in this case, we're going to do a simple contact form again. We like it the way it is. We'll hit Save. Exit out of the Forms editor. We want to set up CAPTCHA. So we're going to go to Settings, under WPForms, CAPTCHA. Well, I'm going to choose reCAPTCHA. Scroll down. Enter my keys again. Scroll down. Save settings. Now I need to go back into my form, edit the form, and activate the reCAPTCHA. So I could have saved myself some time if I would have set that up first. But I'm doing these things kind of in the order that you might come across them. You're like, oh yeah, I need to set that up first. Click on OK. Now we'll choose Save. We can exit out of that. At this point, we no longer need the shortcode because we're going to use Elementor. So I'm going to go to my pages. I'm going to choose my contact form, edit with Elementor. So now if we scroll down, we see this is where we want to put the form. On the left-hand side, if you click this icon here, it brings up this list in case you're not already seeing this list. In the search box, we're going to type in WPForms. And there's two choices in mine. I don't know if there's going to be two choices in yours, but they both kind of act the same. I always use this one over here. So I'm just going to drag that in, drag it right under Get in Touch. And now it's installed there. I can choose the simple contact form. And now the form's there. I can hit Update, go back to the website, hit Reload, and there's the form. Now on Bethany's new website, if you go to her home page and you scroll down to the bottom, there's a place to sign up for a newsletter, and she wants to put a newsletter link right here just to collect email addresses. That means we want to set up a separate form for that. So we'll go back to our WordPress. Let's exit out of that. So we click there and exit to dashboard. We'll go back to WPForms. I don't really like this name. Let me make a change to that real quick. So we'll choose that name. And where it says simple contact form right there, I clicked on it. And we'll just call this our contact us form. I can hit save. I can close that. Just makes more sense. And you know how to make that change. Now we're going to add a new one. And see, it made a default name because I didn't put one in there the first time. We'll call this join email. We'll do another simple contact form. Now because I don't want the form to get cluttered, I'm not going to turn on the reCAPTCHA on this one for her. And also, she only needs the email field and the name and the first and last name. So let's go ahead and get rid of this field right here. So I just click the little trash can on the right. And now her form is ready. We'll click on Save. Exit out of the WPForms editor. Go back to our pages. Now we're going to edit her home page. Edit with Elementor. Let's scroll to the bottom. And this is where we want to put the new form. So again, we can come back over here. You choose that icon to get this list to come up. We type in WPForms. Let's drag that one over right there. Choose the form. Now these names make sense. Join email. And this looked a little cluttered to her. She said, I don't really want that. I just want the email. So anyway, we'll update this. And we exit it out of Elementor. So we'll come back into our forms. We'll choose the join email form. Over here to the right, we'll close that out. Hitting that little trash can. We can save this. Now if we come back over here and hit reload, she says, yes, that's what I wanted. So now we've added two different forms to her website. One that doesn't have CAPTCHA and one that does. That's pretty much the extent of it for making a free form for your WordPress or Elementor website at no cost to you. However, if you've got just a few more minutes, I wanted to show you some of these pro features that are really outstanding. For example, if you want to have a form where you can make a purchase on that page, we'll be able to do that without having to purchase an entire shopping cart environment. You could handle small sales on your site with no problem at all. We're going to do that. We're also going to add an employment form to one of the pages for our website. And we're also going to look at how you can access all of the form information that comes to you from your website instead of having to dig through your email looking for it. This makes sure you don't miss any of them as well. So let's go ahead and get started. And to do that, we'll go ahead and close this. And we're going to go to another website now. And it's the Osaka Steakhouse website. And there's their website. And we went ahead and added an employment field, but it doesn't have a form on it yet. And then there's the contact field. So we're going to go ahead and add both of those forms to their website. So let's go ahead and go to the WP admin to log in. Log into that website. Now we're going to open up the extra window by right-clicking here and open a new tab. And that way we can see the website as we're making changes. Now the features we're going to use now are going to require a Pro version. So we go back over to this third tab, and we're back at webyoda.com/WPForms. And you can click on the Pro button, and that'll take you into their website so that we can get the Pro version. Now, our relationship with WPForms is not just an affiliate relationship. In fact, WPForms has partnered with the WebYoda Foundation to help provide a little bit of the money for every purchase to go to the foundation to make sure that we can produce as many videos as possible for free for everybody out there. And to see that relationship from their website, you could have just typed wpforms.com/WebYoda, and that link works, and it brings you to the same spot. But what that really indicates to you is that there's a little bit stronger relationship than just a regular affiliate. They really do want to help out and provide as much free training as possible with our help. Now from here, we can click on the Get WPForms Now button, and if for some reason it's changed the setup, you can also just go to Pricing, and it'll bring you to a page that shows you what the current options are. And many times, like right now, they'll have some kind of special option going. In this case, it's 50% off. So in our case, the basic package is going to be just under $40 for the year. And if you choose not to renew at the end of the year, your paid version of your plugin will continue to work. So let's go ahead and compare the options of their different paid choices. Typically, you'll just need the basic version. But in my case, I'm going to purchase the Pro version because one of my clients needs to have a purchase page. And so they're going to use PayPal, for example. So if you scroll down, one thing you'll notice is if you only have one website, the basic will be fine for you. If you have 3 websites, you're going to need the Plus version. If you want to use up to 5 websites, you can use the Pro version. And if you want to have unlimited websites, you're going to need to get the Elite version. So for you, you're probably just going to need the basic version. I'm going to need the Pro version, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that for my purposes. And there, it's went ahead and applied the discount. I can put my information in here. And you'd go ahead and choose to complete the checkout. I already have an account, and I already have made the purchase. So in my case, from their main page, I'll choose Login. I'll log into my account. And from here, we want to know how to get access to the new plugin. So if we scroll down, we can choose View License Key Details and Downloads. And clearly, this isn't my real license key. Again, this is Jenny's license key, 8675309. And I can have up to 5 websites. So you're going to want to copy your key. I'm going to right-click and copy. I can download WPForms, and this will be the paid version. Once that download's complete, I can close that, and I can come back to my admin. And notice this already has the Lite version installed for this, but we want to install the Pro version. So we're going to go to Plugins, Add New. And sometimes it'll look like nothing's happened, and that's because all this advertising's in the way. So I'm going to close some of this advertising just to get it out of the way. Now I'm going to click on Upload Plugin, choose File, and there's the paid version. We'll click on Open, Install Now, Activate Plugin. Notice in this site, we had Contact Form 7 at the old version so that it didn't break. Now the Pro version is installed, so I'll click on WPForms. And notice there's a link right here that says Enter and Activate. So we'll click on that. You'll enter your activation key. Hit Verify. We are now verified. Click OK. Now we'll click on CAPTCHA. We'll choose reCAPTCHA. We'll scroll down. Enter your keys here again. So there's my Jenny keys. Save settings. And so now CAPTCHA will already be activated. Now we'll go into All Forms. And we're going to create a new form. So I'll click on Add New. And our first one's just going to be a simple contact form. We'll go ahead and do that one real quick. Now notice all these are activated now, so if I want to add a phone number, I can drag the phone number in there and have a real phone number in there now. And if I want to have a subject, I can put a subject in here like this. Go to the fields, choose that one, put subject. Just kind of a refresher. And then I'm going to go into the settings, and I'll name this Contact Us. Go into confirmations. I'm okay with that. notifications. I'll put my email address in here. I can hit save, close out. Now I'm going to go ahead and make the second form while we're in here, just so you see how easy it is. They're going to want an employment application form. Let's go ahead and add that new form. Now when you scroll down, you'll see an additional template section. But to get these, we're going to need to download the add-on. So let's go back to their website. We'll go back to our account. Now obviously this got us back to where we were already at. But in case you came back at a different time, I still wanted you to be able to find it by going into account and choosing downloads. And now we're going to need to scroll down and you'll see the access you have to lots of different new add-ons that are available. I'm going to show you how to use a few of these add-ons, and then from that you'll be able to figure out how to use the other ones that you might need. So in this example, we need the Form Templates add-on, but don't make the mistake of clicking here to try to get to that. You actually just want to click this little cloud guy here, and that's going to allow you to download the plugin and keep you going in the correct direction. So now that plugin's downloaded. We'll go ahead and close that thing out. We'll go back to our WordPress, and now we're going to need to close this out because we need to add the new plugin. So we'll go back to our plugins, add new, upload plugin, choose file, and there is our new add-on. We'll open that, install now, activate plugin. Now that that's activated, we can go back to our WP Forms. We can go back to adding a new form. So now we're ready to choose the template. And as we scroll down, you'll see there's this whole new section. And as you review through these, you'll see there's a whole bunch of different things that you can do. Obviously, I'm not going to go through all these, but if I can show you how one or two of these work, then you can understand how everything works. We're going to scroll back up, and I'm looking for the job application upload form. I'm going to choose that. Now it already has the information for doing an application, as well as areas for people to upload their cover and their resume. So that was super simple. I didn't have to do any of the work, and you could add your own extra fields if you want to, but this is okay for our needs now. And we're going to rename this employment application. I'm going to go into notifications, put my email address, go to the confirmations. I'm okay with that. We'll hit save. Now we have both the forms we need. Now let's go add them to our pages. I'll click on pages. Again, this site is an Elementor site. So we'll go into the contact form page, edit with Elementor. And this one currently is using the contact form 7 version. So we're going to scroll down. I'll right click on that and delete it. And now in the box here, we'll type in WP Forms. We'll drag that over. We want a contact form in there. Choose Contact Us. We can hit Update. Go back to their website. Click on Contact. And there's our contact form and our Submit button. Everything's ready to go. Now we want to add an employment form. So let's go back to our WordPress. Let's exit out of Elementor. Choose Pages. Choose Employment. Edit with Elementor. Now as we scroll down, here's that same contact form 7 that didn't have any upload area, doesn't have the caption and all that. So we're going to delete that, and we're going to choose our WP Forms again, drag that over, select our employment form, and now we have an employment form that is going to be fully functional. We don't see the captcha here yet, but it'll be there later. So we'll hit Update, come back over here, hit Employment, and now they have an employment form with all the bells and whistles. But we did not turn on the captcha. We'll come back over here. We'll exit back out of Elementor. Ironically, it's helpful for you when I make these mistakes so you can see how to fix them. So we're going to go back to our WP Forms. We're going to choose on the employment application. Click on captcha. Turn that on. We'll save it. Close that out. We're going to click on the Contact Us form, choose CAPTCHA there. Now it's activated. We'll save it. Now it's saved, and we come back over here and hit reload. We scroll down, and now it has the CAPTCHA. Also, what's interesting is if you go back to WordPress, enabled forms will say that they're enabled on this corner, so you know that it's enabled in here as well. Now for our final example, we're going to add a purchase form to another website. Let's go ahead and close that. Let's go to the other website, and we're going to go to jose1.com. And these guys are where I get all of my SEO from, which is probably the reason you found this video, is because they do such a great job of making everything that we have available and searchable and findable, whether it's in Google or in YouTube searches. They already have an order form, but we're going to make a sample order form so you can see how it works. So let's go ahead and log into the WordPress admin for this site. So we're logged into the WordPress admin. In this case, the Pro version of WPForms has already been installed. So let's go ahead and set up a purchase form. So I'm going to click on WPForms, Add New. And they do have fancy forms down here that may already have some of this built in, but I just want to show you how to do it from scratch. So we'll start with a simple contact form. Let's go ahead and add a phone number here. And we'll add an address here. And then we'll choose on the form options, and I want to choose phone. And let's say I want that to be a required field. Now under the address form, I want to put my fields for handling a purchase. So let's go back to Add Fields. Scroll down. And the first kind of field I want to do for the payment type fields is a multiple item. It's little radio buttons. So let's go ahead and drag that over. And basically it allows you to have a radio button where you can choose one of them but not all of them at the same time. So we'll click here to edit it. We could also go to Fields over here and then choose this, and now it brings them up. And let's go ahead and give this a label. Choose your monthly SEO package. And our choices are going to be Basic SEO Package, Premium SEO Package, and Supreme SEO Package. And our pricing will be $59 a month, $109 a month, and $125 a month. And so now, each one of these, when we choose them, it will allow us to select only one of those when it does them. Now something else that we may want to be able to do is to put the pricing out to the right. So we can choose Show Price after the labels. And there's our prices. Next, I want to add a different type of purchase field. Go back to our fields, scroll to the bottom, and we're going to do checkboxes this time. We'll drag it right in between there. We'll hit Field Options. We'll choose that one so we can make changes. And our label for this section will be Choose Your SEO Boosts. So these will be ways that you could boost your SEO to make some progress more quickly. First of those will be Moz Domain Authority. The second will be Ahref Domain Rating. And the last will be Alexa Ranking 150K. Now for our pricing, be $150 for that one, $250 for that one, and $199 for that one. We want to show our pricing. And on these, you'll be able to select multiple ones, as opposed to the ones up here, you're only able to select one at a time. Now, in any payment form, you'd like to be able to show the total. So let's go back and add our fields. At the bottom, we're going to choose the total one, put it there, and that'll add a total to our form. So at this point, our sample form's complete. You could obviously add as much as you wanted in here. So let's go ahead and make a couple other settings. So we'll click on Settings, and under Notifications, we will put Jose1 New Sale, and the email address. Now we'll go to Confirmations. Thanks for contacting us. We will put Thanks for your order. And now under Payments, we need to activate the kind of payment we're going to use. And I already went over here and notice that this is the one that we used before. If you scroll down, here's the PayPal add-on. And I've downloaded that and I installed it. And that's why this is already activated. If you needed the other ones, you'd have to download and install those. But that's why those aren't activated and this one is. So I can choose that one. And here you want to put the email that is associated with that PayPal account. In this case, their email is payments@jose1.com. And one of the neat things that you can do is under mode, it says production. That means that once you save this and you started it, it's actually live and functioning. But what you can do is you can choose sandbox mode for testing the form out. So for our purposes, I'm not going to leave it in test mode. So I'll go ahead and change that back to production. And then the last thing you need to do to take your form live is to turn on this checkbox right here to enable PayPal. Then we can hit save. We can exit. And now we're ready to add this to a page. So we'll go to pages. I already created a sample page. So we'll go ahead and click on edit with Elementor. Then I'll scroll down a little bit. I want to put the form right here. So I'll go over here and type in WPForms. Now there's another styler thing here, and I think that was downloaded under a different product. It's not one of the ones that came with what we're doing. So we're not going to worry about that one. We'll just use the same one we have been. It works just fine. Now we're going to select our form, sample purchase form. There's our form. We can hit update. Now we can go back to our WordPress. We'll right click here, open a new tab. And now we're going to go to order-sample. And here's our form. And let's go ahead and enter some information. So I'll pick Bethany. Over here I can choose the basic package. Notice how the total changes there. I pick the premium, it changes again. We'll stick with the basic. Let's go ahead and add the Ahref rating. So notice that the total goes up. And now we can submit our order. This is a required field. Notice the asterisk there. Test. 1, 2, 3. Hit submit. And notice it takes us to a PayPal window. It's live. We could actually process that. It would go directly to Jose1. Or we can pay with debit or credit card. So that gives you a fully functional purchase page inside of a single form. So there's one last thing I wanted to show you. And it's a really neat feature. If you purchase any of the paid versions, you get the ability to store all of the forms that you receive inside of WordPress, which does two things. One, it allows you to check your form submissions without having to dig through your email to search for them. And so if we go over here to WPForms, what we're looking for is an option called entries. And that's just going to be a list of whatever forms had been submitted. Now this is a sample, so there's not a lot of data here. The other advantage is that if somebody abandons a form, this product will also allow you to capture that information, and you may be able to reach out to them and say, hey, we noticed you had a form and wanted to know if there's anything else we could do for you. It's a really helpful feature if you're going to have a purchase page, for example, because that way you don't have to dig through all your emails looking for the sales. So that about wraps it up. But since you made it this far, I wanted to give you a little bonus and tell you the secret about how to make your website load as fast as possible. If you're interested in optimizing the photos and images in your website, just choose the link at the top right. It'll take you to a video I made on optimizing your website. Now, I truly hope I covered everything you needed in this tutorial. Now, if there was something I didn't mention or you had additional questions, please leave them below. I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. But if I don't know the answer, I'll go, hey, I don't know. But if I do know the answer, I can find the answer, I'll give it to you, and maybe we can work on it together. So I really enjoyed doing this. I hope you had a great time as well. The only real payment I'm looking for, if I could possibly get a subscribe out of this, possibly a like out of this, that'd be super helpful. But outside of that, I just hope you have a great day. Peace out.